I'm kind of a nerd about how movies are made, and I've always wanted to know this. So your character's filming these sequences in the film.
Yeah.
When we see his footage showed on the screen, is that the footage you personally shot, or like a DP shoot that?
So, I mean, I shot the footage, but then in order to match certain pieces of footage, they had then the operator come in and shoot the scene also. But Robert Elswit, who shot the movie, who's very specific about that, and particularly the way the scenes are shot, it was really important, that like the shootout and all that stuff we're filming, and then you see in the background out of focus the situation, but you really see how it's being filmed on the video camera. That was all very meticulously done.
That's so cool. So when you're going through the house and we see the bodies, that actually is you that shot those moments?
Oh yeah. Yes, that's
So
me
cool.
that shot those moments. Yeah.
Now I'm always been curious about this because I know there's a lot of talk about weight loss. And I'm not going to ask you like how much weight you lost, but like where's the balance of not losing so much weight that you hurt yourself, but also staying true to the character? Like is there like an element there that you think about, or do you just kind of just lose it just to get into the mindset?
It was less about the weight. It was more about the idea that, I came up with this idea with Dan Gilroy, our director, that he was a coyote. In Southern California, there are these, wild animals that come down the mountains at night sort of scavenging for food and looking for, what innocent animal to kind of take advantage of, and that was Lou. And so I just thought he needed to look like that. The balance there, I think, is really about your own mind and you knowing it, and I think every character is a sort of journey through your mind and learning. I mean, I think acting, I'll just make it clear, I think acting can be and is a very immature, very selfish profession, but I think it also can help you practice empathy. And I think that if you decide to have it help you do that, and it's about a journey through your mind and learning about yourself, which is cool about it. That's what's cool about it. And so you got to push boundaries, but never be unsafe in a very dangerous way. And I'm very clear about those boundaries.
Is it easier to lose it or gain it for like Fuqua's the southpaw? Like, is it easier to like gain that muscle mass, or is it easier to lose the weight?
I don't think it's about that either. I think for southpaw, when you're playing a boxer, basically I was put into a training camp. Like, Antoine, I trained for 6 months for that movie, and for the 3 months before we started shooting, he had set the first day of shooting to we went to the first fight, and we shot all the fights in the first 2 weeks. So I trained like training camp for that, and that got me into the mentality of a boxer. 2 days like nonstop with my coach. Antoine would join me for workouts too, but most of the time it's just isolating. So you get into the mentality of what somebody does for real, even though you're obviously playing a character. And there wasn't ever a thought about whether one thing was easy or hard. It was a focus on the material and pulling off the character. Yeah. And that's first and foremost and really the only thing in my mind. Because I think I don't think vanity plays very well when you have to pull off a character.
Yeah, and real quick, I love the line in the movie you say, if you want to win the lottery, you have to have the money to buy the ticket. And I'm wondering, how does that line apply
to buy a ticket?
Yeah, buy a ticket. Sorry, I don't know my lines. How would that line apply to being an actor, like and choosing roles? Like, can you apply that to like being an actor at all?
Yeah, I think everything Lou says you could apply to everything that anybody does in any business. I think everything he says is correct. It's just the things he does that are a little off. But I think that my belief about any profession, is that freedom is on the other side of discipline. That discipline and commitment is a huge aspect. I've learned that from a lot of the roles I've played, particularly when I played in the military or a police officer. The preparation, the schooling, the physical connection to your job, that discipline is extraordinarily important. Technique is very important. And so when you ask me a thing about, or somebody asked me about losing weight, these are all things that are done very technically. I think I have a tendency to kind of look at them and make them into an idea of like it's a job, and so I take it seriously. At the same time, I feel like it's absurd, but I do take it very seriously, and I think freedom exists on the other side of discipline, and I think that's the key. That's the lottery ticket.
Mr. Gyllenhaal, thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
it's an absolute pleasure.
All right,
My girlfriend
nice to talk to you.
like The Enemy is one of the best movies ever made.
No way.
Dude, she thinks that she about the TV movie, but she thinks